organization that provides a home away from home for families that lets them to.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents were deployed to 14 U.S. airports on Monday. We have all the details for you coming up. Temperatures are ramping up in Edmond. Elijah DePona has your weather update next. Candidates for the UCO Student Association President and Vice President Johnny Butler and Mark Harmon were in studio today. Abby Avers has more later. Broncos softball beat the Oklahoma Christian Eagles. Emily Creekmore has all the sports next. All this and more happening now on UCentral News.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening, I'm Abby Avers.
And I'm Zach Sexton. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents were deployed to 14 U.S. airports Monday. Their goal is to help understaffed and unpaid TSA workers during the ongoing partial government shutdown. How long will they be needed? It's too soon to tell. John Loring reports.
Some progress in Washington, D.C.
On this vote, the ayes are 54, the nays are 45. The nomination of Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma to be Secretary of Homeland Security is confirmed.
The 48-year-old is taking over a department that hasn't been funded since February 14th.
Let's make it very clear. Donald Trump is the one standing in the way of paychecks for TSA workers.
But it appears some progress may be coming on that front as well. Top Republican senators met at the White House Monday night with a proposal aimed toward funding DHS, aside from a small section of the immigration enforcement budget, which analysts say appears to be a concession to Democratic lawmakers.
I'm not getting ahead of the president on what he wants to see in the end. No, he's talking to members of Congress on both sides, so I'll leave that final decision up to the president. But regardless of what happens the next several days, I'm just going to keep doing the mission the president assigned us.
But until the stalemate is broken, ICE agents will be at several airports lending assistance to unpaid TSA employees.
I do say that I think they should just fund the Department of Homeland Security, pay those workers. They're here for a reason, to protect us every day, and I don't think ICE agents should really be up there just filling in the hole.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Republican Senator Susan Collins told reporters that she's, quote, optimistic we're on a good track. Democratic Senator Chris Murphy said the funding of DHS, aside from ICE enforcement, would be the easiest way forward.
Kevin Stitt has appointed Alan Armstrong to temporarily fill a vacant U.S. Senate seat after Mark Wayne Mullen was confirmed to a federal role with the Department of Homeland Security. Armstrong, a longtime energy executive and current chairman of Williams Companies, brings decades of experience in natural gas infrastructure and national energy development. His appointment comes as policymakers continue to debate issues related to energy demand, domestic production, and grid reliability. Under Oklahoma law, Armstrong will serve in the Senate until voters select a candidate in an upcoming election to complete the remainder of the term. State and national leaders are expected to closely watch the appointment as it adds a private sector energy expertise to ongoing discussions in Washington. Well, the weather outside is definitely windy. Elijah, how's it looking?
It's not looking too bad. Elijah's putting on with your first look of weather. Let's head outside. We'll see that we're at 70 degrees out there. Sunny, 70 degrees. We got south-southeast wind going about 5 miles per hour. The humidity has dropped since yesterday. We're at 37 degrees, or 37%, I should say. So you're going to definitely feel less humidity in the air. And because of that, we're going to feel more heat. All right, it's going to feel like 78 degrees out there, even though it's just 70. So you do have any jackets that you were wearing yesterday, take them off. All right, definitely it's t-shirt weather. If we go and look outside, we can see that the tree's been high. It's always stayed high, but everything else is catching up. The grass, the mold, a little bit of the weeds have grown since yesterday. Right? And it's going to continue to grow just because of how dry the air is and how high the temperatures have been. But don't worry too long, because next week we do have chances of rain. We do have good chances of rain, so it should wash all this away. As we look through the severe threats, we're going to see that the wind has dropped just a little bit. But another warning for y'all. That wind is not going to stay low for long. As we get to Wednesday and Thursday, that wind gust is going to build up all the way up to 33 miles per hour. As we look ahead, we're going to see that we have a fire watch on Thursday just because of how hot it's going to be. We're going to have temperatures all the way to triple digits around the state. Right? We're going to have a cold front that comes in Friday. It's going to cool us off real nice, and it's going to give us some cool temperatures into the late week. And we're also going to see the temperatures kind of warm back up through the weekend until we see a little bit hotter temperatures throughout next week. But that's all we're going to have for your first look of weather. Right back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Elijah. House Bill 3312 passed 84-10, which would allow schools to choose whether to offer firearm safety training for faculty and staff in public schools. Author of the bill, Oklahoma Representative Ryan Eves, says that this training would promote, quote, practical life-saving education, end quote. This training will be led by local law enforcement or individuals who have a certificate for Council on Law Enforcement Education and Training, also known as CLEAT. That includes a mandatory 600-plus hour training. Elementary students would be taught how to navigate and encounter with found firearms, mainly focusing on leaving them alone and telling an adult. Older students in the training would receive instructions on how to safely handle and store firearms, injury prevention, and school safety. Once this training is implemented into K-12, schools have to give parents the choice of opting their children out of the program.
The Oklahoma County Board of Commissioners is shaken up after Commissioner Miles Davidson for Oklahoma County District 3 suddenly announced his seat resignation from his seat on Friday. The resignation comes from a Cleveland County judge granting a protective order against Davidson on behalf of a former county employee claiming harassment. Davidson will remain in his seat until April 3rd. After that, the Chief Deputy, Paul Foster, will take over until the end of Davidson's term in November, when an election will be held for his replacement.
Well, like Elijah said earlier, that heat wave is moving in tomorrow. He'll have more for you after the break.
It's time to explore, to come out and play. Our city is waiting, so what do you say? Whether daytime or nighttime, the right time is now. Finding those moments to make you go wow. Amazing new places to fit every mood. Shopping and dining. Did we mention the food? There are green parks and ballparks and water parks too. Museums, attractions, and also a zoo. The modern frontier is the friendliest place. Now is the time for your dreams to be chased.
It's the Roadway Replay.
Time for the lightning round, Brian. Let's rewind your drive to work. How far did your car travel while you checked your phone? 20 feet, 100 feet, the length of a football field?
100 feet.
Oh, sorry, Brian. In just 3 seconds on the highway, your car traveled the length of a football field.
Distracted driving? It's no game.
Hi there, Elijah Pono with your full look of weather. Let's head outside. Right, we can see that we are 70 degrees out there, a sunny 70 degrees out there, with south-southeast wind going about 5 miles per hour. Nothing too crazy, but you're definitely going to feel that as you walk outside. The humidity is at 37%, so it's a little less than it was yesterday. And because of that dry air, you're going to feel the heat. So it feels like 78 degrees out there, even though it is just 70. So if you do have anything too crazy, you want to take it off right now. Let's look at the full state. As we look, we can see that we have a high of 79 degrees, but that's not what it's going to look like for the entire state. We're going to see over here in the northeast part of this state, we're going to have them, the people 86 degrees. We're going to see Clinton around 82. We're going to see Lawton around 84. The southern part of the states is going to be around the low 80s, with Ardmore around 81 as well. As we look through the northern part of the states, we're going to see Eden around 79. So we're all going to be heated up as we keep going throughout the week. As we look through tonight, we'll see that we are going to settle at a 60, partly cloudy 60, I should say, with south-southeast winds going 10 miles per hour. Got to double it up for y'all. All right, we got the humidity at 23%, so a lot lower than it was already. But we're going to have cloud coverage around 28%. So you're going to see a few clouds in the sky. Nothing too crazy, though. As we look through tonight, we're going to see we settle at 60, but the southern part of the states is going to be with us. Ardmore around 58, Lawton around 57. We can see McAllister around 60 as well. But as we look through the northern part of the states, we're going to see lower 50s. With Enid, I should say, at 54. We're going to see Woodward around 54 as well. Tulsa around 57. Now, as we look through tomorrow. As we start tomorrow, we're going to see that we start at a clear 61 degrees outside, but it's going to ramp up heat fast. We're going to see a sunny 83 degrees at noon, and the heat's just going to keep coming with 7 p.m. up to 92 degrees. Right, those are the dog days. I'm telling y'all. As we look through tomorrow, we're going to have a high of 95, and that's not going to be just here in OKC. It's going to be throughout the state. We're going to see Lawton at 93, Clinton at 93, Woodward at 96. Man, oh man, as we look through the 7-day forecast, we'll see that we are at 78 right now. As we keep going throughout the week, we're going to get hotter and hotter until we get to 96. We're going to have that fire watch. But once we get to Friday, we're going to see that cold front really come in, right? Reduce our temperatures all the way down to 61. It's not going to stay for long, because as we keep going through the weekend, we're going to have cool weekend temperatures. We're going to climb up that temperature rate right till we get up to Monday, where we're going to be around 84 degrees. Now, I have a question for y'all at the desk. Right, we're going to see, as you can see, I should say, we have Wednesday and Thursday going to be pretty hot. What do y'all plan to do with these summer days?
Well, I burn way too easily, so I'm going to try and stay inside as much as possible. Zach?
Unfortunately for me, the warmer temperatures just means I need to get on mowing my lawn. Thanks, Elijah. Elections for the UCO student body are coming up soon.
I'll speak with 2 candidates about their campaign when we come back.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead. Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the 3rd largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Student body president and vice president elections are next week, and Abby is in studio with 2 of the candidates to get a look at their campaign. Abby?
Thanks, Zach. I'm here with Johnny Butler and Mark Harmon, who are running for student body president and vice president. Thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Abby.
Yeah, so to start off, just tell me a little bit about yourselves and your background.
Yeah, so I came from Rose State College. I was the student body president there, and I actually own a restaurant in Bricktown, Oklahoma City, and now I'm here at UCO, and I'm looking to become student body president here.
Absolutely.
So I'm a freshman. I just got back from my military AIT training in February of last year, so this is my first year here.
Awesome. So why did you decide to run for these positions?
I decided to run for this position because I have a revolutionary dream that I want to implement into UCO. It's called the DREAM program, and it's something that I implemented into my restaurant in Bricktown. It works like a charm. It is an amazing program, and basically the idea behind this program is students our age feel lost all over the nation. They feel lost at this time in their lives because this is going to be who they become, their major, who they meet, stuff like that. So a lot of kids, they tend to get lost, and I want to collaborate with career development, and I want to collaborate with people like that so we can figure out what their dreams are, not just career-wise, but dreams just as a whole, and so I can develop a plan with them into accomplishing those dreams. And that's something that I feel passionate about and something that I am going to work on whenever I get that position as student body president.
What about you?
One of the big reasons I'm wanting to run is because as a student, I want to represent my fellow students. As I said in one of our other interviews, I want to make the school a better place for future generations that come, because one day my brother and my 2 little sisters will be in college, and when they're in that position, I want them to have a wonderful learning environment.
Awesome. So in your opinion, what are the top 2 or 3 issues students here at UCO are currently facing right now, and how would you address them?
Yeah, so D2L, I think that there needs to be a better adaptation from students that have never used it. I think that incoming freshmen, for sure, maybe perhaps a tutorial as to how to use D2L, that could be something small on the smaller side. But another issue, again, going back to that DREAM program, I'm so passionate about that, what that stands for. Students need to know that they can, I want them to be empowered to chase their dreams. I don't want anybody to lose any of those dreams. I want them to pursue them, and that's what I'm going to make sure of whenever I become student body president. That's something that I feel very strongly about, and that's a huge issue I think everybody feels here at UCO.
Okay. So you mentioned the DREAM program. What are your main priorities for your campaign?
So you have the main priorities for the campaign, of course, integrating the DREAM program, but as well as, I guess, some student action committee was another thing that we had been looking at.
Yes. Okay. Do you want me to go over the student action?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So the Student Action Committee is a plan proposal I have that will be led by members of UCOSA, and what it'll do is it'll have the ability to hire UCO students to resolve issues on campus. I think the reason this is such a great idea is because a lot of students can't afford to have a full-time job, and so they run low on money pretty often. And I think this would be good for those who can maybe not work a full-time job, but can work 5 to 6 hours a week and maybe earn a few $100s fixing issues here on campus.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned students have trouble with jobs and stuff. What specific policies do you have in mind to improve student life on campus?
I want to mention the UCOSA, the University of Central Oklahoma Student Association. I think that coming from Rose State College and being the president there, seeing how meetings are ran there, there's so much work that needs to be done here for the students in terms of how the leaders are operating in the meetings and how we conduct ourselves through change that we can make in those meetings. I think that there's a lot of change, a lot of things that we need to improve in those meetings. So I think policies on that level definitely need to be addressed.
Okay. And what's one thing about UCO that you think deserves the most attention?
I think that the potential. I think the potential of the students and the dreams that I want to uncover and pull out of people, that's something that I think deserves so much more attention, and I'm going to give it that attention.
Okay. Do you have an answer?
I think it's just the students. They work tirelessly every single day that they're here, and I think they deserve proper attention and care for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Abby.
Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Abby. When we return, Emily Creekmore talks about how the softball team did over spring break. Stay tuned.
Sometimes it makes everything funny. Sometimes it's nothing to laugh about. Weed. It's funny like that. And unlike alcohol, with marijuana, there's no legal limit. So even if you don't feel high, you could get a DUI. No matter how much weed you've had, don't get behind the wheel, because driving impaired is illegal, and that's no joke.
Hooves up, roll Chos. Today's a great day to cheer on the Broncos.
Welcome back to the Pain Train.
Okay, Sean, here's your final question. A train hitting your car is the same as your car hitting a boulder, a brick wall, or a soda pop can.
A brick wall?
At a whopping 20 million pounds, a train will crush your car like a pop can.
Oh.
Beating a train? It's a game you can't win.
Good afternoon, Broncos. I'm Emily Creekmore, and I've got your Tuesday sports update. The UCO softball team went 4-1 over spring break. UCO traveled to number 12 Oklahoma Christian last Tuesday, beating the Eagles 5-2. Central then hosted Washburn in a doubleheader on Friday, sweeping the Ichabods 8-0 and 4-0 in the two-game series. On Saturday, the Broncos remained at home hosting Central Missouri in another two-game series. Central fell short to the Mules 5-6 before getting the 9-0 run rule in Game 2 to split the series. The softball team will travel to Rogers State this Friday, where they will play in another doubleheader. First pitch is set for 3 p.m. And the UCO baseball team went 1-3 in their games this week. UCO began on Tuesday, where they hosted number 15 Rogers State at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark, losing 13-6. UCO then traveled to Kansas on Friday, where they faced the Pitt State Gorillas in a 3-game series over the weekend. Central lost 8-12 on Friday before earning the 13-3 run rule on Saturday. On Sunday, however, the Broncos lost 11-0 in 7 innings, losing its series against the Gorillas. UCO is now 13-14 overall and 4-9 in MIAA play. The baseball team traveled northeastern Oklahoma State earlier today. First pitch began at 3 p.m. Central will return home, hosting Fort Hays State this weekend in another 3-game series beginning on Friday. The UCO track and field officially kicked off their outdoor season this past weekend at the West Texas Relays. UCO freshman Gabija Pukstas led the Broncos, finishing first in the 1,500-meter run with a time of 4 minutes and 56 seconds. This was her first ever career win, and she not only won her section but also secured the best time of the day. McKenna Huston also had a top 3 finish for Central, finishing second overall in the 800-meter run with a time of 2:22. UCO will remain in action as they have 5 straight weeks of competition. The Broncos will be in Shawnee this weekend for the OBU Invitational. And the Oklahoma City Thunder increased their win streak to 12 after beating the Philadelphia 76ers 123-101 yesterday evening. Former 76er Jared McCain received a warm welcome when he checked into the game before firing 2 back-to-back threes. McCain finished the game with 13 points, including 3 made shots beyond the arc. SGA led the offense for the Thunder, finishing with 22 points on 9 of 13 shooting to go along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists, increasing his consecutive 20-point game streak to 132. J-Dub also returned after missing 16 consecutive games due to a hamstring injury. Dub finished with 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists in 20 minutes of gameplay. The Thunder will remain on the road, traveling to Boston to face the Celtics tomorrow evening, with tip-off set to begin at 6:30 p.m. And speaking of the Thunder, it was announced today that the Oklahoma City Thunder and Continental Resources will have a joint 15-year naming rights partnership for the Continental Coliseum, the new Oklahoma City Thunder Arena being built in downtown Oklahoma City. Continental Coliseum is set to open in summer 2028, serving as a new entertainment building in addition to being the new home for the Thunder. OKC will continue to play at the Paycom Center until the new venue opens. Well, Zach, Abby, I've seen the pictures and videos of what the new arena will look like. Have you guys seen them yet?
I've seen the pictures as well, and I think it looks great, but there's a lot of glass, a lot of transparency. I'm hoping it upholds in the Oklahoma weather.
I agree.
I hope so too. I definitely have seen those pictures as well, and I'm always going to root on our Thunder, so I'm definitely going to have to stop by.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Emily. Well, coming up, a group of middle school students are headed to space. Find out more next.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move to meet our students where they are and get them where they want to go. Over time, thousands of students have made the move to UCO. They come to pursue their passions and find their calling, to improve their lives, families, and communities. UCO moves and motivates students in and out of the classroom. Here, potential takes flight. Our students' curiosity ignites a spark that fuels transformation. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the university that hasn't stopped moving since 1890. In fact, we are gaining momentum. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back. A group of middle school students in Maine are preparing to take flight. They plan on sending yeast to the edge of space in a balloon flight sponsored by NASA. Colin Gallagher spoke to the kids about the project.
For the past several weeks, a team of 7 Cohen School students have been working on an experiment that's truly out of this world.
We're sending yeast to the stratosphere.
It'll be exposed to UV radiation, cold temperatures. Then when it comes back down, then we'll see. That's their question. Will the components that are up in near space affect the yeast?
The experiment, titled Yeast in the Stars, started out as a proposal based on student curriculum that was submitted for the NASA Student Tech Rise Challenge last October as part of the Future Engineers yearly competition.
7th graders, they do a yeast fermentation lab, so it's kind of like that, except more extreme, that it could be genetically altered while up in the stratosphere.
It was announced in January. The Cohen School was one of only 25 across the nation to have their project being given a designated spot on a NASA-sponsored high-altitude balloon. While it wasn't the school's first time participating, students say their excitement levels skyrocketed.
I was literally internally freaking out. I was super duper happy when I heard that our school won.
Alongside meeting with future engineer experts via Zoom, students also divided into multiple teams in order to develop necessary skills in soldering, coding, and mounting to make their experiment a reality. The process helps to leverage skills for future careers.
I'm planning on working in engineering and programming. Probably mechanical and some electrical as well.
I think the most exciting thing to learn is how to mount the stuff.
Updating the Metron 4s and how the code is starting to work.
Without the coding, it'd just be a box and wouldn't do anything.
We're learning how to solder, we're learning hands-on stuff. Wiring, they're learning a lot too, and mounting it's amazing.
You see the grit, because at first they're not sure, they're not really confident that they can actually get this completed, and then you see that confidence grow. It's really fascinating, and it's great to see them really flourish.
Once completed, the team will be presenting their work virtually during the NASA Tech Rise Student Showcase on May 15th, before sending their project for final testing on May 16th.
The yeast will be sent back to the Cohen School later this summer to be used in next year's curriculum.
A couple of years ago, they sent Katy Perry to space, and now they have yeast going to space. Abby, I think the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, those kids are definitely on a roll.
Yeah, they definitely are on a roll.
Because of the yeast?
Yes.
Yeah. Hopefully get some dough from the project. Okay, well, it's about time we wrap this up. Hi, I'm Abby Avers.
And I'm Zach Sexton. Have a good night, Broncos.